In 2015, the CDC conducted a survey in 30 states and 15 large urban school districts. This survey was aimed at high school students for the purpose of determining their sleep habits. While the American Academy of Sleep Medicine recommends that high schoolers sleep up to 8 to 10 hours each night, the survey revealed that 72.7% of high schoolers only actually receive up to 6 or less hours.
Good morning. My name is Isabella.
The students who are sleeping under the recommended number of hours are experiencing a state called sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation can harm the lives of high schoolers, and as more time is spent in this sleep-deprived state, the more likely their academic success comes at risk.
Good morning. My name is Isabella Gilbert.
My name is Anya Arslanian.
My name is Al Shakatov.
My name is Sebastian Mejia. Our research focus was to what extent has sleep deprivation affected the academic performance of teenagers in the United States. With numerous credible sources, our group was able to conclude that sleep deprivation negatively affects the academic performance of teenagers in the United States by influencing mental, educational, economic, and physical factors.
Like Sebastian stated, sleep deprivation is a strong occurrence in teenagers in the United States today, especially in the development of mental health problems. According to the CDC, mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. According to this model, the top represents external pressures such as school start times, which causes changes in adolescent sleep behavior and ultimately results in a number of outcomes, including difficulty in emotional regulation, intellectual ability, and deficiency in motivation. These are all signs of mental health arising and disorders developing. Teenagers who experience a cycle of sleep deprivation may be less motivated to learn, endure for longer, put up higher quality effort, and not do better in class or standardized tests, all of which prepare students for future professions and life in general. All of this is strongly linked to how maintaining healthy sleeping habits will result in the reverse of this diagram, improving the chances of lowering the likelihood of mental health disorders. It can be seen in this diagram that 58% of individuals ages 9 to 18 are not getting the sufficient sleep they need. This puts them at greater risk of experiencing mental health challenges that will greatly affect them, especially in the way they perform in an academic environment. We can see that in the United States, 68% of teenagers have concentration problems, 97% are at risk of depression, and 72% are at risk of anxiety, which in school can be seen as constantly missing classes, nodding off, and skipping school. According to the experts at the University of Chicago, when there is a valid explanation for behaviors such as easily being diverted, having trouble listening, running behind schedules, or having difficulty starting work, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, is sometimes readily overlooked, even though it is a mental health condition. Similar symptoms to those of ADHD, like alterations in attention, can be brought on by stress, sleep problems, anxiety, depression, and other mental illnesses.
This graph represents a survey of the sleeping and waking times of American teenagers on weekends versus weekdays. The graph shows that most respondents go to sleep at a later time and wake up at an earlier time. This leaves a small gap in the amount of time teens have to sleep throughout the night, causing sleep deprivation. This lack of sleep on weekdays can be attributed to early school start times and rigorous workloads. With kids potentially having hours upon hours of endless homework in the night, they tend to stay up studying to complete their work. The problem, though, is that they have to get up early because school starts only a short amount of time later. Within the parameters of the educational system, extracurricular activities could also be a cause for lack of sleep. The diagram represents social factors affecting quality of sleep. These factors include fear of missing out, technological distractions, and social environment stimuli. Technological distractions could include iPad, iPhone, or laptop usage, especially before bed. Fear of missing out and social environment stimuli go hand in hand because typically students don't want to miss out on social school events such as clubs, sports, performing arts events, or even just attending the homecoming football game, and would be willing to sacrifice their sleep to attend these events as they can go late into the night potentially. The consequence of attending these social events could be, as Enya stated previously, concentration problems in class due to lack of sleep.
Currently, states like Illinois are suffering economically. One of the contributions does include the inactivity on behalf of the state to implement later start times in school systems, which according to a study done by the RAND Corp, causes Illinois to miss out on a $2 billion gain. Considering the fact that many states also proceed with early start times, the overall gain the nation is missing out on is estimated to be nearly $83 billion, as confirmed by the Rand Corp. Common factors like car crashes involving sleep-deprived adolescents, students performing poorly academically, missing college, and earning less in their careers are all a byproduct of early start times. This graph also displays the economy that has been going downhill for Illinois, which also represents the
That
factor
tickles.
that is represented by the later school start times. This graph confirms the loss the nation can experience by neglecting later start times for school, and it is quite costly. Here we can see the linear increase the GDP of the United States would experience if they were to implement later school start times. As long as it is being delayed, such economic growth cannot be acquired.
In conjunction with Emia's claim on mental health, sleep deprivation has also been shown to affect physical health and cause 3 major physical health factors. These factors are hypertension, diabetes, and obesity. In addition, recent studies showed that sleep deprivation causes internal bodily imbalances. Those imbalances are the cause for the physical health condition. For example, sleep deprivation has been shown to cause an increase in insulin resistance and a decrease in glucose tolerance or effectiveness. Because of this, the chances of teens contracting diabetes is much higher. This also applies to obesity and hypertension with their own respective bodily imbalances. Additionally, different tables, discussions, and cross-sectional analysis from several academic sources have shown that physical health conditions caused by sleep deprivation play an important role in the academic decline of students. For starters, hypertension can cause neurological problems in kids, like weakened cerebrovascular activity, lower parent rating executive function, and if paired with CKD or chronic kidney disease, lower IQ. These neurological issues continue to persist with children even as they grow into teens. Their ability to perform in an academic environment is limited compared to their non-hypertensive counterparts. Secondly, diabetes affects the perception of difficulty in tasks. A recent study by the World Journal of Diabetes presented evidence from neurological studies on teens with diabetes. They said, perception of difficulty on neurological tests exhibited a significant association with academic achievement, indicating that deficit in this skill may lead to academic disadvantages for diabetic patients. Lastly, a recent cross-sectional analysis on obesity, sleep deprivation, and academic performance revealed that obese teens who suffer from sleep deprivation are less likely to complete tasks, stay calm in an academic environment, and or participate in extracurricular activities. These 3 factors persuade us to believe that sleep deprivation can negatively affect academic performance through physical health.
One solution to the sleep depriving issue would be to start schools at a later time of day. This would give adolescents the opportunity to get a full night's rest and wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and being able to retain more information than their brain could have gotten had they been sleepy in class. The limitation to this, however, would be that it could potentially cause transportation issues with school bus systems. Different levels of schooling have different pickup and drop-off times that correlate with the times that each different level of schooling has to go to school. High schoolers going to school at the same time as elementary schoolers, hypothetically, could create conflict on how school bus routes function.
Another solution to sleep deprivation affecting academics could be creating a time management workshop. This could be something students are required to participate in on a certain day every month. Similar programs have been put in place regarding mental health to teach kids about the importance of mental health. So likewise, this would teach kids about the importance of managing time correctly, so it won't affect things like sleep. The limiting factors of this would be if teens decided not to participate in class. Without participating in learning about good time management skills, students would continue with unhealthy habits that affect their quality of sleep. Thank you. Any questions?
You guys would just scoot closer together. All right, perfect. You can
back up a step. You didn't need to come up. Sorry for my phone too. That's my fault. I apologize. It is what it is. Enya, you're up first. Describe an argument from one of your peers' individual reports that makes you think differently about your team's solution.
One argument that Sebastian had was that the physical health includes the increase in obesity and hypertension. That made me experience a different outlook on health, since my perspective was mental health and how different types of health factors can be affected due to the decrease in sleep and affecting the academic performance of students.
Thank you. Next up. What's an example of a compelling argument for one of your peers' individual reports that you decided not to include in your presentation, and why?
Sebastian's argument about the paychecks of administrators have not been included in the presentation because we felt like there wasn't enough compelling research for the argument.
Okay. Next up. Bella, give one specific way that your thinking changed as a result of learning about Alisher's findings.
My thinking changed after learning about Alisher's findings, which were economic impact on sleep deprivation, because I didn't realize that the economy had any part in affecting the way that we sleep. But after I learned Alisher's findings, I saw that yes, there was definitely an impact on the way that we sleep.
All right, and last up. What is a way in which your team's solution makes you think differently about the work you did?
Well, the work I did was on physical health. Originally, we never even had physical health. We started with health, and because I had administrated, we removed that since there wasn't enough evidence. So we split mental and physical. Then we realized that there were a lot of similarities in their own solutions. So that's how it affected mine, because I realized that all their perspectives actually play into my perspective, and it shows that the solutions are very similar for each problem.